recognize you. Actually, I can't say it's a
Exactly.
like your shoes.
Thank you.
But well, I'll tell you what. Welcome to Creative Engineering. We'll start here. We'll come into the showroom, and I used to like to end here, but what happens is we get going, moving around the shop, and sometimes we use up so much of our time that we don't have enough time here. So I decided I'd start here, and then we'll enjoy the show and ask questions and stuff about the show, and then I'll take you around the shop and show you around there. But I was curious about you too, because your mom told me you're a Looney Bird kid.
Mm-hmm.
So you remember Looney Bird? Are you familiar at all with the classic show?
Mm-hmm.
How are you familiar with this show? Yeah, go ahead and help yourself. Like $4 million. The big bill, 37,000 square feet.
Well, it's prime real estate, because whenever you do want to sell it, you probably sell the land.
Well, a decent chunk, but not what it was costing me to have a building like this. I could sell it for land, land value, but people wouldn't pay me for the building because it doesn't have a value to it. They said, well, you need to tear the building down, building the land, making a success out of it. None of that do I begrudge, because that's the way the world works.
Right.
What I do begrudge, and what I am trying to battle, is his claim of inventing it. See, so Bob Casada, if you go to his website, he claims he invented the game. So I confronted him. I bet Grant saw the kind of confrontation. So I confronted him with the IAAPA website. IAAPA, International Association of Music Parts. And Mike Wilson. And we do a little video talking about Casada.
And that's what that says?
Yeah. You know, they give me a reason to have fun doing that. I have something called plantar fasciitis. You know what that is? Well, it's a dreadful thing. You wake up in the morning and you can't walk because your heel hurts so bad, your foot hurts so bad. But I've invented these little pads that go inside the shoe that correct the problem for me almost instantly.
Oh, good.
And I'm testing it out. Now I have to turn over the pad. I have to reverse it every few hours.
And why is that? Why do
Well,
you have to
it's
reverse
therapeutic. It has massage. It has a massage technique to it. The pad does, and it massages your feet, makes it feel better as you're walking. But after a little too much time, it starts hurting. It's like getting a massage and just won't stop. Okay, about enough.
You're trying to get over there
Just stop the massage. Yeah. So the question is, do I have? I don't think I have the list. Wait a minute. I've got it on my computer. I might be able to find it. So yeah, I might have to go to my computer and find that list because I don't think I have it here. Let me see if I don't think I have that one on my computer.
Well, let me just see what you do have, then I'll just...
Yeah, why don't we do that? Let me show you what I've got here. I don't remember ever charging for a tour before 2009. So yeah, because it was so rare that I did it. And then by 2009, 2010, I was getting so many people. I mean, I would have been like touring every day. So the only way I could cut down on the number of people I was giving tours to was to charge them.
Well, that's nice. That's the best to do.
You know, I said, well, if you'll pay me for my time, I'll do it. But otherwise, I just don't have the time. And they said, and I was surprised. They said, yeah, I'll pay you for your time. I said, really? Are you sure? Because it's really expensive. And he said, no, we'll pay you for your time. I said, gosh, okay. Well, I was very shy about it for a while. But, you know, people have told me they love the tours and they love coming here. So, and I love doing it. Let me, we've got birthday melody and happy birthday. Let me just see what this one is.
Hey, we got a show. Hey, in the house. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to
Hey, that was too short. Let's do it again.
Hey, we got a
After a while using my pads, I can jump. You know? 75309, that's Duke. The Beach Boys, Good Vibrations, Heard It Through the Grapevine. That was at Looney Birds. I Swear was at Looney Birds. The Monkees Medley was a big showbiz tune. Revolution, Spiderwebs, we did that at Looney Birds. Remember, that was even popular at that time, you know, no doubt. Three Little Fishies, kiddie tune. Tunnels, that's kind of cool. That's you know, a modern group. Witchcraft, that's that. I mean, Rolf and Earl. Maybe When the Lights Go Out, that was from Looney Birds days. Funky Chicken, we did that all the time. Did you ever do that? We were Happy and You Know It. Hips Don't Lie, that's more recent. Beatles, I Will. Fat Singing Red Hot. Run Around, which is a 90s tune. The End of the World, kind of a 50s tune, I think. Traveling Man. Ricky Nelson, and the White Album medley. And then Korean songs. Some of these are pretty cool. These songs here, I actually did these for South Korea. The company bought a show for me. In fact, I bought back Chris Thrash's show and sold it to these guys.
Oh, okay. I was always wondering what happened with that.
So I don't know if he's got another show or not. I heard that he was getting pieces together and going to build another show, but he needed to get rid of his show for financial reasons. And so I sold it for him. So I took his back, fixed it up, and sold it to Korea. And time for me to see what the problem is with you watching, because this will show you kind of what some of the technical stuff. Let's open his curtain, and I'll show you what's wrong with him. He was moving, like everybody's got the right amount of pressure, I can tell. But he was moving like he's only got 20, 30 pounds of pressure. And I don't know why. Maybe I was thinking, I haven't had a chance to even look at it. So my first thought is, okay, maybe his valve isn't open all the way. Okay, that would be an easy fix. So we'll check that first. Okay, well the valve is open all the way. Okay, that's the air valve that feeds him pressure. So I'll just push one of these manually. See, that one's moving. That one's moving all right. Let's see what that looks like. See, that one looks all right.
Yep.
See, it looks okay. That looks all right. So it looks okay when it's running one at a time, but when everything's running at the same time, he's not getting enough air. So maybe there's a constriction somewhere else. Let's play a diagnostic routine that'll test him and the other characters as well. Let's see what it looks like. This is something that I never had back in the showbiz days, but I needed real bad. Here's, for example, arm raises.
Arm raises.
Note that all the arm raises are going up. That's Mitzi's arms, Billy Bob's guitar arm, Beach Bear's guitar arm, and Rolf's left arm. But the two movements that we're not looking at this time are the guitar raises. That's Beach Bear and Billy Bob's left arm guitar raises. That's not part of this video. See, so that looks all right. Let's move on to the next one, arm swings. Oh, no, that would be just passing through. Here, arm twists.
Arm twist.
We're now testing the arm twists of Rolf's left arm and Mitzi's arms, both arms. The other arm twists that are moving, Beach Bear and Billy Bob's right arms and Rolf's right arm, are not being videotaped right now. That's a different adjustment tape. This is Mitzi's arms and Rolf's left arm. See, it's adjusted perfectly. That's perfect. See, so let's try his lift, because that's where it really gets obvious, is in his right arm lift. Let's see where that would be. Well, I've got arm raises, but that wasn't it. Let's see. Twist, body leans. Let's try the body lean first.
Body leans.
All of the characters' bodies should be moving. Looney Bird doesn't have a body lean. Rolf leans forward, Duke leans back. Bats leans back, Beach Bear leans back. Mitzi leans forward, and Billy Bob leans back. And they all do it exactly at the same time, synchronized, and take the exact same amount of time, whether they lean back. That looks fine. Let's try his body right, his body turn.
Body right.
The body turn rights should be in synchronization with each other. Billy Bob, Mitzi, and Rolf. Those are the characters that have a body turn right. See, and that's fine. So why doesn't he perform right? Let me see if I can find his arm up. Rolf, here we go. Let's see if this looks good. Rolf's right arm raise. Rolf's right arm raise. Let this run a couple of times before you start checking the speed. Oh, it's not doing anything. Notice how it just gets to the top, touches the very top, and then comes back down. It has a lot of weight to lift, so it takes it a little bit of time to get up to the top. And by the time it hits the top, it's ready to turn around and come back down. Put it on loop. Make sure that it does not slam at the top, and make sure it gets all the way to the top. Just touching as lightly as possible, but getting there, and then turning around and coming back down. Want to see what's inside? Make sure it doesn't slam at the bottom, but comes down and gently rests at the bottom. Right? Okay, that's the cylinder that we're trying to make work there. Mm-hmm. Okay, there's the right arm raise flow controls right here. So I'm going to open up one of these and see if I can get him to go up faster. Rolf's right arm raise. Let this run a couple of times before you start checking the speed. Notice how it just gets to the top, touches the very top, and then comes back down. It has a lot of weight to lift, so it takes it a little bit of time to get up to the top. And by the time it hits the top, it's ready to turn around and come back down. Make sure that it does not slam at the top, and make sure it gets all the way to the top. Just touching as lightly as possible, but getting there, and then turning around and coming back down. Make sure it doesn't slam at the bottom, but comes down and gently rests at the bottom. I hear a leak. There. That's probably why we're not getting full power.
Yeah, I hear that too.
Because that leak. Let's put on his other movements and see if we see what the other arm, right arm stuff looks like. Rolf's right arm raise. Let this run a couple of times before you start checking the speed. Notice how it just gets to the top. Otherwise, people want to say, how come Aaron's show looks so prone? You know,
Yeah, it's always in top notch every time I see it.
except right now. You're not going to see, obviously.
Is it just like a little bit, like right here, or is it more than that?
It looks like all of the movements on Rolf's right arm are out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's right. I think I got a close-up shot. Closer, since he's not going to move.
Yeah, and it sounds like a leak inside is the problem. I just don't know. It could easily take me a whole day to figure it out and to fix it.
So did you do the artwork on these two, or did somebody else help you with that?
Well, I'm not really an artist, but I had a great artist who came to work for me in the early days, Dave Thomas, and he did the sculpting of the faces and of the bodies, the early bodies. So he became really the source of the art.
Should I start it?
Yeah.
Hey, this is Rolf Dwell coming at you live from Showbiz Pizza Place. Hey, we got any groovy people out there today?
You're a geek.
That's my man, Earl.
I can't even stand to look at you.
Yeah, thanks for the compliment, Earl. You too. Hey, everybody, we're gonna get on with the show now. Hey, and guess what? I'm in such a good mood today. I'm gonna do some singing for you.
Cool.
That's right, Earl. I'm no longer content just to be a fabulous entertainer and comedian. Today, I am going to sing for you.
Rolf!
Je chanterai pour vous.
Rolf! You're pegging my gag meter.
Thanks, little Earl.
Oh,
Man. Now backwards. Yeah. Don't let go. Love is dragging you still. Don't let go. It's wonderful having you. Don't let go. I'll keep on impressing you. Don't let go. Ooh-wee. This feels killing me.
I opened up
Oh, shut
other people.
I can't stop being stuck. I love you so. Come on, honey. Hold me tight, don't let go. Hold me tight, don't let go. I did hold me tight, don't let go. I did hold me tight, don't let go. Exactly.
Yay! So he became really the source of the art and what you see. You know, he was the creator of the visuals.
Okay.
And I had a lot of people helping me. You know, and then mechanical engineers came in and helped me clean up my designs. Welders, people who knew how to weld would come in and clean up my welds. Machinists clean up my machining. So a lot of people came in and perfected my rough ideas. Like the show is because, first of all, they didn't grow up with it. It wasn't their childhood icon. But, you know, I also love this show, although because of all of the motivation that people have given me to develop that show further, I have put a lot more time
It
into
seems
it.
like this one has more of the greatest hits kind of things going on than I remember that one having. The kids could select
Yes.
show.
Uh-huh. Yes, who was intended to be a traveling character. In other words, we would take him off the stage and we'd put a different character on that stage. In the initial design, Rolf wasn't going to be a full-time member of the show. He would travel around, Uncle Clunk would come and travel around, the Statue of Liberty would get to travel around and appear on that show. So really, he wasn't necessarily going to be a permanent member. We thought there'd be a budget so that we'd always have a new character. That was the idea. We wanted something new all the time. So we didn't really give him all the respect that he deserved, and didn't develop all the stuff that we wanted for him. In fact, I didn't know how many people actually liked Rolf until I met my girlfriend, Carrie. And this is now 2003, and I asked Carrie, and she worked at Chuck E. Cheese, and we met because of her fandom of Rock-afire Explosion. And I asked her what her favorite character was, and I was blown away to find out her favorite character was Rolf. Kind of a knockoff of the Country Bear Jamboree. A customer told me he wanted a low-budget Country Bear Jamboree, and so I came up with that show. And we have that show in the other room, by the way. So, yeah, we didn't know for a while, 1978, 79, if we were going to get sued by Disney for selling animatronics, because we didn't know whether they had it sewed up or whether they cared. And hey, here he is. And look, he's in perfect condition. He didn't get hurt by the blast. There we go. There was a little girl that used to come into Looney Birds, and I can't remember her name right now. JoJo. I think her name was JoJo. Maybe not, maybe not. But anyway, she would come in the Looney Birds. She'd come up on stage and perform, and we had a head, a Duke head, that she used to put on and come out as a little JoJo, the dog-faced girl. And so she'd wear this, she was a real cute little girl, looked like a little girl in every way, but she had a dog face. And so she was JoJo, the dog-faced girl.
This is the show computer.
Yeah, and I had various types of computers in here. See, obviously we're not using any of these anymore. Now, of course, it's playing off the computer that we clicked on, but the signals are coming back here through this wire and going into that wave shaper down there on the floor. Well, these are parody posters of that the Showbiz corporate put together for us back in the 80s. Like King Kong was parodied into King Fats. They were very cutely done.
Yeah, definitely.
Fats sort of back there. Here is my little collection of dolls. We have Fats dolls of various natures, the bigger one, the smaller one.
So where'd you get the one on the stage from? Is that just from here?
No, actually I had a few more, like that's like the one on the stage. And I have a few more, and I have a few more Beach Bears left too, like that one there. Well, in 1980, when I started dealing with a lot of restaurants, and we had to send out, well, we had to tell them things all the time. We had to call them up and explain how to do things. Well, it was difficult because back in 1980, there was no email, and we didn't even have fax machines back in 1980. It was, you had to call people. If you wanted to talk to them, you had to call them.
Right.
So by the time we had 200 restaurants open, calling them to tell them something simple was a very time-intensive job. So we had to hire women to sit down at long tables like this with telephones. And we had 10 women sitting at a table making 20 calls each to call 200 restaurants. So my idea was that we would be able to simply write messages and press the send button and send them to all the restaurants at the same time. And so I incorporated the idea and the designs into the controller with the show. So we started sending out shows to people with the email system installed, plugged into the phone line, not over the internet, because we didn't know anything about the internet. Hoping to franchise Looney Birds. Looney Birds Inc. Looney Birds FECs. This is actually where I'm working when I'm not giving tours, because what I'm doing is, so you might think it was my office, but it's not really. It's just a lab that I'm writing software in. And I'm using an Apple IIe computer to write my software to run my new game. And because I write in machine language, which is so easy to do on an Apple IIe computer. So I never decided to get off the Apple IIe for that purpose. We actually put a sink in the showroom, and before kids got to eat their pizza, they had to go over and wash their hands. And I was hoping to get a lot of support.
I remember you had a lot of arcade familiarity too.
Yeah.
My older son would always be interested in playing arcades. Well, this one was interesting.
Drooping there, but he was. You don't want to mess with it too much. It's very, very has no more elasticity to it. But anyway, we built this guy out of a raw. Yes, that's right. That's what happens.
Yes.
And I see the new mask form.
Melting and going.
Yes.
I'm melting.
Yes, that's right. That's what happens
But there's a lot of work went into that.
when things start to get old. Yeah. This is the mold. So yes, I could lay up a new mask for him eventually. And the reason I found this was because a guy came in and told me he wanted to buy that character and wanted to know if I could fix him. So I went around looking and I did find the mold, so I told him I could do it. But then he didn't.
Didn't follow through.
No. So they came out of Looney Birds.
Wow.
And that's good. That'll be Duke. That's what Duke looks like without his costume. And you can see things fell forward. That's because of the explosion.
Yeah.
And the Rock-afire the Moon Rockers is right here.
Are they operational at all?
No, they're not. In fact, look, you see that the explosion tore a hole through the back, the back thing, and tore up the.
Because actually, something interesting is this is what like a lot of fans said they wanted to see.
Well, I could fix it up.
Yeah.
In fact, it's my dream, you know. Like if I'm only doing a tour every once in a while, it's very, very. It's never happened before that I've done 2 tours in the same day. This is the first day. But if I ever do enough of them and we get to keep this building, which is going to require a success, a bigger success than I have right now.
You're
I will-
saying you're still fighting legally?
Well, it's just, no, I'm not fighting legally anymore. Because they were threatening to bulldoze my building when they exploded. I've managed to hang on to it. But now, it's a matter of whether or not I can afford it. Because there's yearly real estate taxes. And occasionally, if somebody wants something that I've got, that I've just happened to have, I can sell it. But if somebody wants me to make them something, they can't generally afford to pay for what it would cost me to make it. Now, take a look at this. This is crazy. Look how open that bottle is. It's not just a crack in the bottle. The bottle opened up like a butterfly. It's flat. So think how fast it had to open to do that. If the gas had come out slowly, it wouldn't have had enough pressure to open it all the way. The gas would have come out.
And where was
The bottle was over there, about 20 feet that way.
Okay.
And that's why it blew out that wall. So you're looking at a brand new wall over
Oh my word.
there. That whole wall is brand new. The wall used to look like that wall. The one we look at. Right. I was carrying these bottles all over the country in my RV. I had two in my RV. We traveled to California,
And
Las Vegas,
is it
to
the
Boston.
fuel that you're trying to make?
Yes. Petroleum. Clumped together because after the explosion, we just had to clean everything up. It was, in fact, let me give you a souvenir newspaper. I've got a souvenir newspaper for you. I collected a bunch of them right after the explosion when they put it on the front page of the Sun.
Here's a whole
Oh, about the
newspaper.
explosion?
box full of cosmetics.
Yeah,
too.
see, because when the explosion occurred, I had all the costumes hanging up in the costume room, and everything was tumbled. Everything was on top of each other.
Gosh.
So, and it was a huge, huge mess. And what's really crazy is how these doors blew out. Like, for example, like this crack here, this was created by the explosion. It just blew this wall apart. What happened was the shock wave went above. See, there's nothing up there? The shock wave went above the room. It hit the wall, the concrete wall, and it reflected off the wall and came back through this door. So it blew this door out this way.
Is this all new drywall here too?
No, this drywall is not new, but the ceiling is. But all these cracks were created by the explosion. See this crack here? See that? That blew in. And all of these ceilings were on the floor, and along with the wire and the conduits. So it's a player piano. And see, like, I wish I had time to just get everything working. If I could, I'd get the piano working too, and show you how it works. But basically the way it worked is you press play, and the piano would start playing, okay, like a player piano. But it all came off of a cassette. So in 1979, when I saw this piano, I was amazed at how does that work. The next thing you know that really blew me away was that you could press record, and you could play something, and then play it back. So somehow or another they had developed a way to capture what you were playing on one track of tape, and then play it back. So yes, and that's 88 keys. And that to me was so fantastic because I saw each key as a movement in the show. And so all I had to do was rewire it. So
Well, I'm on my way where the sun shines bright each day. Girl, can't you
So
see?
I'll take you through quickly because I know you want to see everything. I don't mean to short run anything. I just want you to see what all's here. We had to move all the audio equipment out of the studio when the blast occurred. Okay? Yeah. When it acted like a bomb. We had to get all the stuff out of there because there was so much moisture. So all of our master tapes and everything had to just be pulled out because there was 4 feet of water in this basement. Broken pipes. But in this, we're going back here towards the studio now. This room is what we call affectionately the graveyard of 80s audio equipment. We did our video editing in there, but had to rip all the stuff out of there as well after the explosion. And this was our music studio. And I'll probably rebuild this into a music studio again someday, if I can stay here. But it didn't hurt the stuff on the walls, but the floors were just, there was like a foot of water down there. So we had to get everything out of here. But this is where we recorded a lot of our early show tapes. And this is the piano that I used in the documentary.
Sounds just like it. Yeah.
I love this sound.
Yeah, that's really cool. sounds just like
Now, when did you buy the building? In the 70s?
1977. This will go through this way. There's the car that started everything. This is the car I built in 1973, a three-wheel car that I thought was going to be my destiny. I thought it was going to be my destiny to build small, gas-efficient automobiles. See, I've always been interested in solving this gas crisis problem.
Right.
So this car got 90 miles to the gallon, and there was a lot of interest. About those things too is
Put
that
all the solar panels on his roof to where he brought the bread and
Yeah.
he does all that stuff.
see, if I had the time and the money to do it, I'd be messing around with all that stuff too. But I don't right now, so maybe I'm saving a lot of money.
Yeah.
These are actually standard masks, standardized masks, which a long time ago we used them to see what the standard colors were supposed to be and to compare the new masks that we made against these. But when the rubber pieces come right out of the mold, they look like this. And these are the molds that you see all around the walls on these shelves. And this is kind of like the naked way the masks look when they come right out.
oh wow, look.
That second generation Mitzi. And I still have a dream to finish her and get her working and get her up on stage with the Rock-afire Explosion that I use all the time. It's over here. We'll walk right through it. It's in crates, so you can't see it, but it's in boxes. Those are forms that we would sculpt on top of.
That's cool. So you know where the
All the eyepieces are, the mouth leaders and everything. Yeah, and then over here, I'm gonna show you another dream of mine. Just be careful with that cord there. And that's right here, a second generation Duke. And I've got 4 of these guys. And I still intend to and hope to someday get the second generation Duke working. But he has the wrists and elbows and arms and all the movements that he needs to play a full set of drums.
wow.
He can even turn and lean back and cross over and lift his hand way up and do cymbal work. So, this is like a long-term dream. I thought for sure that by now somebody would have beat me to this and would have designed a robotic drummer, but nobody's done a robotic drummer yet. Not one with 2 arms. I've seen a robotic drummer with 8 arms. And every arm plays a different drum, but that's cheating. Show me a robotic drummer that actually plays the drums with 2 arms. That's what I want.
So that will actually play the drum?
Yes. And it'll be a magnificent. Yep.
Back there.
Yeah, and that's the Wizard of Oz characters that we had in Looney Birds.
Oh, did you have? I don't even remember that at all.
He wasn't in there full time. I did bring him in there though, especially when we opened.
Okay.
I wanted to show off a lot of animatronics.
Okay,
And we
you're
just
switching out
we
things.
took things out that wouldn't need the space. Yeah. And there's the fire-breathing dragon I was telling you about. You saw the little model up top a while ago. And his skin is all kind of deteriorating too, as they will over the years. Group them together. But we do have some more over here, some more characters. There's the Uncle Clunk, Santa Clunk character, and another beach bear. And you know
Here's
what?
the Billy Bob. He's almost done. He
Yeah.
doesn't have his mask.
That's right. And if you notice his face,
Oh wow.
that's what it looks like when the mask melts on the mechanism. So if somebody had a lot of time, they could sit down and take this apart and clean it up, and it would work again. But
So what happened to this particular?
well, it was a used character. It was a character that we had leased to somebody, and then the mask was on it, and then it sat for years. And then nobody was really caring for it or taking care of it, and so the mask just melted onto the face.
Now, what is this These frames back here almost look like tracks.
They are. Those are curtain tracks. So
Oh,
if we
okay.
were to put in a show and need some curtain tracks, there's our extra curtain tracks. In the middle.
There's a background too. There's a whole bunch of rainbows back
Yeah,
here
there's some
too.
raw rainbows, more than I need.
A lot of those.
Yeah, got a few extras of those. Squeak through here if you're really careful.
Now, do you give any of this stuff like as souvenirs or probably not?
Well, I mean, do you have a truck?
There's nothing you need to see.
You want this?
Sure.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Absolutely.
Now these are the crates that hold the last show that's never been sold.
I wonder what kind of shape it's in.
They're in real good shape, except for the masks.
Have you checked on them at all?
Well, I opened up a lot of them over the years,
Mhm.
and the masks were always deteriorating, but the rest of the characters were in good shape.
And this is a Rock-afire Explosion.
Yeah, it's a classic show. And now you're looking at the old Wolfpack 5 show.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny doing 2 tours on the same day. I thought I showed you this.
Mhm.
No, that was
Yeah.
Matthew. That was Matthew I showed this to. And there's the beach bear, and the guy that became Rolf, but back then he was the Wolf Man, and he had a tail back in those days. And
There's a
Dingo, the drummer, that's what became Duke. He was much more basic back then.
Mm-hmm.
And then the mouse that became Mitzi.
There's even a guitar back here.
Okay.
And then Fats, the most interesting character of all was Fats the gorilla. And look how mean he is.
Yeah.
He was a lot meaner back then. Sometimes there's a mind of its own. You just watch this thing sticking out there. As you walk by, watch your left left shoulder. This is my old office in the 80s.
Oh, yeah, look at the paneling there.
I loved it. I had the red velvet curtains.
Oh, yes, you did. Yes.
I was 26 years old.
Oh wow, look at that.
Yep, there's a loony bird. Right out of the show that you remember.
Mm-hmm. Even a little kitchen back here.
Well, that's my hydrillium grill.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay.
And I've got it connected right now to a bottle of hydrogen. As I'm continuing to experiment. I filed a patent on my grill, and I'm continuing to experiment with the grilling equipment using hydrogen until I get my generator back working. Bear. And there's the hard luck bears that you saw. And there's some pictures of us working back and going to the beach together and having fun.
Wow, that's cool.
So you can have that. And here's, I invented another game called the Mesmerizer, and then these stickers went with the Mesmerizer. And then I licensed that game to a company called Ice, and then they were supposed to pay me royalties on it. Instead, what they did is they changed the game around, and they brought it back out, and they didn't pay me royalties at all, so they stole my game, and they called it Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of
Oh
Fortune game.
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
and then,
a big one.
And then there's some Looney Bird tickets, prize tickets. I don't have many of those.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember those? We used to give those out to the good kids. Not to the bad kids. And then this.
Tweety Railroad? No.
No, it's. Oh no, this is another brochure that we were building stuff. We didn't know this was a bad brochure when we created it. You know, that it was just too much.
Too much going on.
Too much going on, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the way we were. So there's the building that we built our shows in. Here's a brochure for the anti-gravity freedom machine. You can have that. And look, here's a folder to keep it all in. How about my original song, Sitting Too Long?
Sure.
It's a song about getting old. So it's a good thing I'm still young.
Do it all over again.
I'll do it. I'll start all over.
Oh, are the curtains on?
No, not sure. No, I don't think so.
Can we turn them on?
Yeah. Yeah, we can turn on the side curtains, but I don't want to turn on the center curtain because it's not adjusted right.
Oh.
And it might come off the trap. Oh, I know what it is. We must have a signal going through right now. It's holding that curtain. Let's see. Right.
Is it gonna start?
Here we go.
What's happening to me? What's this happening to my body? All time she's slipping away. Now I know I'm sitting too long. Really? Sitting. Just sitting. I'm sitting too long. I'm sitting too long. I'm sitting too long. I'm sitting too long. Sitting too long. I'm sitting too long. I'm sitting too long. I'm sitting too long. I gotta get up. Move around. I'm sitting too long. I'm eating too much. You know I'm eating way too much. How many times have I said I'm really different? Oh no, 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 no. I gotta get up. I'm sitting too long. I'm sitting too long. I'm sitting too long.
That's cute.
Hey, look, whatever y'all just did just fixed the tune machine.
Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle. Looney, you're a genius.
I know.
Ladies and gentlemen, featuring our female vocalist Mitzi and the magical, mystical tune machine of Fats, here's Venus.
That is on the mountain top, burning like a silver flame. The summit of beauty and love, and Venus was her name. She's got it, yeah, baby, she's got it. Well, I'm your Venus, I'm your fire, it's your desire. Well, I'm your Venus, I'm your fire, it's your desire. Weapons were crystallized, making every man mad. Black as the dark night she was, got what no one else has. She's got it, yeah, baby, she's got it. Well, I'm your Venus, I'm your fire, it's your desire. Well, I'm your Venus, I'm your fire, it's your desire.
It's your turn, Pat. Show off that tune machine of yours.
She's got it, yeah, baby, she's got it.